make sure we're recording, shall we? I will try to make sure that there is a link included there as well. So this agenda is going to talk about some of the items that we're going to discuss here today. I always try to add in some links to our various support articles. If you really want to take a deep dive into a particular topic that we maybe just don't have time to get into today, that support article is going to be a great resource. I love our support articles. If you're getting down to the nitty gritty, a lot of those articles include photo images and short video snippets. So you're not just reading a giant block of text. So no matter your learning style, there's resources. But I try to include some support articles here. I'll usually propose a challenge as well. I always encourage you guys, whatever you learn here at our success meetups, if you haven't tried it before, try implementing it in your own platform. Testing out these tools on your own is really going to help, reinforce your learning, really going to help this information sink in for you. Additionally, I'll usually include some other helpful articles or possibly a video related to today's topic. And I usually like to include a little link to marketplace suggestions if you're looking to purchase leads with kvCORE. Great way to check it out. And I usually also post the recording link on this agenda as well. Again, we're going to upload these to YouTube, but sometimes I manage to get that recording link faster than we could pop it out on YouTube. So if you know that you're going to have to leave today's session early, or you just want to, know something we're talking about here today, you want to watch it again later, if you grab the agenda, you'll also have that handy recording link. Okay. So with that, for today's topic, we're talking about generating leads from your kvCORE website. We're going to talk about the ways that your websites are already built out to capture leads. So from your search tab, they can save listings. That's going to prompt them to register. They can save search alerts, market reports. They can get signed up with a home valuation. We're going to talk about ways to drive more traffic to your websites. If you're new to kvCORE and you've added in contacts, did you also follow up and maybe send them a link to your website? I mean, even your friends, your family, your sphere of influence contacts, always worthwhile to just share it out with them. If they care, they're going to be support. They're going to want to check out your website. Always helps to drive users there. But there's ways that you can also increase, how much your website is being viewed. When you update your website regularly, maybe with, by starting a blog or adding in custom content to your site, it's going to increase its SEO value. It's going to increase the likelihood that it's going to be found in a search. And of course, we want to make sure that we're sharing out links to our website. So we can share out, listings. We can use other lead generation tools to direct consumers to our site to go and sign on up and generate more leads. And, the more attention we drive there, the, greater impact on, our overall leads, but greater likelihood of, generating referrals, greater likelihood that we're going to convert those leads into future deals. So it's all about generating leads and, of course, and purchase leads from the marketplace as well. So those are kind of just an outline of what we're going to be talking about here today. I'll probably keep it pretty high level unless we have specific questions coming in through the chat or Q&A. I do want to remind you that these sessions are tips, tricks, and Q&A. So I'm providing the tips and tricks, but of course, if you guys have questions about anything related to kvCORE, feel free to pop those in the chat or Q&A. I'll do my best to try to answer them for you or direct you to the proper resource you can find more information. All right, so let's dive into a demo kvCORE website. Now, I will be honest, this is not going to look exactly like everyone else's kvCORE website. We've got a lot of people joined with us here today, and depending on your brokerage, you might have some different customization going on. I've also definitely had my hands in this website quite a bit, so I've changed the background image, the custom colors, what the navigation tools say. But every kvCORE website, if you're new to kvCORE, I'm going to let you know, has a handy search tab where consumers can go search and sort through listings in real time, like a real estate agent. I go click on my search tab. There's a couple different ways that leads can be captured here. So if they're simply going to search through listings, whether they're drawing, on the map or filtering through. When they find a listing they like, after a couple of clicks, maybe they're just going to view the details, or maybe they go to save that listing so they can go back and reference it later. Well, it's going to prompt them to sign on up, and they're going to fill out their email address. When they hit that @ symbol in the email address, it's going to prompt them to fill out a cell phone number as their password. And kvCORE is going to take that information. It's going to try to validate it within your CRM, which occasionally pulls up additional information, age, occupation, gender, sometimes even social media links. So it gives you some more information to go on. Additionally, they can continue with Facebook or Google. Those are great options as well. It's going to autofill in that contact information for you. So they can go and obviously search for a listing. They can also sign up for a market report from your kvCORE website. So if they go click on, free market report here, it's going to ask for the area in which they're searching and give some information. If they want to receive those reoccurring reports, you do that as well. Now, additionally, they can go and they can save a search. So they receive those reoccurring emails with listings that match their home search criteria. And additionally, when they come back to your website, they have the capability to go and adjust that search criteria if they need to. If that search is no longer relevant, if they're looking for something different, they can go and remove that. Your returning users who come back to the website, if they were to say click on an image in that search alert email that they received, it's going to auto log them in. So they're already logged in so they can view that information again. And then of course you've got your sell tab. So great place to direct your homeowners to sign up for a home valuation. Now I do want to mention they're going to enter a home address here. And then it's going to prompt them to include contact information as well. In some cases, if it just, maybe if they click off the page after entering their home address, it's still going to capture their address. If they go all the way through the process to get all that information, you're going to get that contact information as well. Let's see in the chat and question about their searches limited to one location. You're having issues with your search page on your kvCORE website. So when you say it's limited to one location, are you part of multiple MLSs? Just trying to see if I can, okay. Well, I might double check, what you have set up for your website. If this doesn't look quite right, it is based off your MLS information. If you're not seeing, in other words, town, zip, etc. Oh, you're saying you're trying to add in multiple locations here for those searches? Okay. Additionally, just so you know, you can also set your users up on search alerts within kvCORE as well. So a little context for anyone, I don't know if you're new to kvCORE. If you're not, if you've been with us a long time, I apologize if this is information you already know. But just to make sure that all of our users are on the same page here, something I'll mention is you can also set your consumers up on a search alert. So you can always go on the back end and do this information for them. So from any contact profile from your CRM, which I'll back up real quick because I did that kind of fast. In your smart CRM within kvCORE, if you go to click on any of your contacts, you have the option to set up alerts for them. Two different alerts options. You have the ability to add in areas. You should be able to select multiple here. So now I know mine is working a little bit. Let me go ahead and do Bronx. Our demo accounts are currently showing New York listings right now, and I apologize, I'm not quite up to date on all different New York areas, so this part's always a little tricky, but you can see I can select multiple here when I'm doing this option, so you should be able to set that up on your own. Okay. All right. Now, those are different ways that we can capture those leads through the website. So covering those basics here. There's are also, powerful pieces that we can use to, kind of incentivize, hey, you want to, if you just want to be updated on listings in your area, well, I can set you up on a search alert, or you can go check out my website. All different ways that we can drive consumers there. And granted, there's lots of ways that your consumers can find this information online, but it's always worthwhile pointing out that, hey, if you sign up on my website, your information is safe with me. Your information's just going to me, and I'm the one who has that contact information. It's not being shared out online. So you have that kind of personal connection with those contacts that are signing up on your website. So always good ways to encourage them to sign up there, to utilize the tools that you have available to them through your website, so they don't have to go to resources like Zillow, for example. Now, additional ways to drive contacts to the website. Now, we know why our websites are, a helpful resource. We know why they should probably go check out listings on our website, but we got to share that information out. We got to make sure that they know where to go. So if you have added in contacts to your database and haven't introduced them to your website, that could be a very simple first step. I have listed here what's called the imported leads default email. If you want just a simple email template to send out to re-engage with those leads that you've just added into your database, you can head on over again to your smart CRM or anywhere where you want to send an email mass. You can also use tools in the marketing tab, like our scheduled mass email tool. But I can come here, send choose whichever contacts that I want to send this message to. In your databases, you'll be able to search up to 250 rows of contacts at a time. And you can send out a mass email here. And of course, there's lots of filters if you want to get really specific about who it is you're reaching out to. And if you want just a great kind of starting point, keep in mind you can craft your own email. kvCORE has lots of different templates that you can go and use. I'm a big fan of our imported leads default email. Every person who receives this email is going to have their name included in the message. And they've kind of phrased this as, you're adopting new technology. So you're addressing that you've got a new website and you're doing a spring cleaning of your database. And you're just reaching out, hey, just trying to figure out where you are in this process. Are you actively searching? Are you planning to resume your search, or have you already bought or sold? So, if you haven't talked to some of these leads or contacts in a while, this is a great way to kind of re-engage with them. And, just explain some of the benefits of your website, includes a link to your website URL. So this is a great starting off point. Of course, feel free to, adjust the phrasing here if, this doesn't sound exactly like what you'd say to your leads, but this is a great kind of jumping off point to introduce that website and share it out, get more consumers there. Additionally, something to think about if you're newer to kvCORE, are you making sure that the leads that you're generating or the contacts that you have in your database are being placed on smart campaigns? A lot of those campaign messages will also direct them back to your website. So check in your marketing tab. Do you have your campaigns on? Are they ready to start nurturing those leads? Are they ready to start following up with them? So you're making sure that you're utilizing all the tools available to them, sending that messaging that's, keeping them engaged and keeping them present. Now, additionally, let's talk a little bit about updates to your site. I mentioned blogs, custom pages. When you continuously update your site and, add new information to it, it's, increasing the likelihood that it will be found. Now, in kvCORE again, you head on over to your Web and IDX tab here on the left-hand side. This is where you can go to make edits, updates to your kvCORE website. Now, we won't be taking a deep dive in here today. There are lots of videos, again, that you can find through our YouTube channel about website editing, ways that you can change your, background image, your custom colors, what listings display. If you want to add in things like testimonials, those are all fun ways that you can personalize your website. But rather than just focusing on what our websites look like, let's try to focus on, the additions to our website that are really going to, make a difference to our business. Changing that background image might make it more, visually appealing to a consumer, but is it really going to increase the chances that we're going to get more people to sign on up? Probably not. But what could drive more consumers to our website? If we're doing a regular blog post, if we have valuable content on our websites. So let's explore some of those options. So here through WebInIDX, we've got a website blog, pretty easy to create your own here. And if you're not quite sure what to blog about, we've got support articles on writing tips for blogs. We've got, again, some videos as well. And it doesn't have to be strictly real estate related. I think anyone who's been in the business long enough knows that there's always ways to tie it back into real estate. But you could do kind of real estate adjacent topics. Topics about cooking, if cooking is your passion, tie it back into, hey, wouldn't it be great if your house had a bigger kitchen so you could use all these cooking implements? Maybe you want to tie it into landscaping, or maybe you want to show off your expertise in your area. So for example, I'm located in California, San Diego. I've added blog posts in here about San Diego activities or events, added in, blog posts about, romantic date spots, restaurants to check out, reasons why you want to move here. So different ways that you can, always draw it back to your business and, give multiple users a reason to check out your website. This doesn't have to just be interesting to real estate leads exclusively. This be a way to engage your sphere of influence contacts as well. And you never know, you could be just inviting, maybe it was, a coworker that you had in the past, or maybe it was someone you graduated with, you added them to your kvCORE database. You said, hey, I blog on my website. Would you be interested? Share out a link. And, maybe they're not looking for a home, but maybe they know someone who is. And just going to your website triggers that in their minds. So we always want to find reasons to draw consumers there. Additionally, under site content, I mentioned, you can just add in custom pages to your site. So this could be, you could keep it strictly real estate advice. I've got example 10 tips for flipping a home. You could change it based on season. You could change it based on, maybe you focus maybe your focus is rentals or commercials or investor information. If you got a piece of advice, if you've got some expertise to share, not a bad idea to add that, show a little bit of that expertise on your website. And when you're creating things like custom pages for your website, if I scroll on down, after you add in your content here, you're also choosing a meta tag description, meta tag keywords. So you're adding in the keywords that will make your site easier to find. When you're adding in, these keywords and these kind of topics that you're sharing out on your website, if you're adding in different, information, like, let's give an example here. I did New Year's events in San Diego, and some of the keywords I used were San Diego, New Year's events. Those are the ones obviously that are just coming to my mind right now, but different topics on the events. And the more words that we add in there, the more, information that when people are going to search, more likely that, it's going to be triggered that they're pulled to my site. So adding in this additional information, again, increases the likelihood that my website will be found. So different ways that really add value to your website. All right, I'm going to take a quick pause there, just checking. Oh, and let's see, where are the custom pages on the home page tabs? Oh, great question, Christine. All right, so on your kvCORE website, you're asking where to find it on the website, that custom page information. Well, there's a couple different ways that you could display this. So I mentioned everyone's kvCORE website typically includes a handy search tab. They have a cell tab. Every website typically will have a Your Agent tab. This is a quick way where your consumers can find your profile and your contact information. Additionally, if you're adding in testimonials or starting a blog, that'll also be located here. For some of you out there, you might also have a finance tab with lender information. And then for your, by default, most kvCORE websites will have an additional tab that usually just says something like resources. Now, every time you create a custom page through your web and IDX, it gets added to your resources page. So resources kind of becomes the category and all the pages are listed underneath that category. But you can also specifically choose to highlight a custom page on your website. So you'll notice that, I've mentioned that the search tab, the sell tab, the finance, your agent, those are ones that are already existing here. These other ones to the right, such as hot listings, preferred vendors, area specific information, those are all custom pieces that I decided to incorporate in my website. So these ones are all technically categories. You can add an individual page to your website. So I could just showcase, let's see, preferred plumbers as its very own page if I wanted to, its own option from here. Or I could create a category, so a drop-down menu that includes many different pages if I liked. So whatever you choose to showcase here. So just a little context is because you asked that question. After I build up my custom pages, again, these will automatically get added to my resources tab. But if I want to showcase them specifically, you'll go back to Web and IDX and you'll go to your website settings here. And from website settings, you have the capability, I believe it's under custom navigation here. So there's a quick link on the right, or because there's a lot to sift through in your website settings section, I find that sometimes it's easier to do kind of Control F and just type in whatever topic you're looking for. So for example, if I was looking for custom pages, I could just type in custom, would take me to this spot. It's a little easier to locate that way sometimes because there's a lot to shift through in this edit settings section. But here I can choose. Right now I don't have any custom pages selected here, so that's why it says disabled. But I have a couple of custom categories added. So I've got hot listings, preferred vendors, and area specific information. But if I just wanted to choose a single custom page, I just go and click through the search bar. So we'll go ahead, we'll grab my custom page for investor info, click save. And what's really nice about edits to the kvCORE website is these are pretty instantaneous. So if I go back to my website and refresh it, there we go. There's that investor info custom page on my site. So quick and easy way if I want that showcased on my website. Make it easy for people to find. Additionally, on your home page, I feel like this topic has been talked about quite a lot recently. kvCORE recently made some updates to include custom widgets for your home page. So for example, this is considered a widget, this area where they can go to start their search, find out what their home is worth, listing alerts, get pre-approved, contact me for questions. This featured areas section, this is a widget as well. So there's lots of pre-created widget templates if you want to, again, drive people to our particular area of your website from the home page if you want to draw more attention to that. So there again are videos on our YouTube channel, but because I addressed it, I want to quickly point out Web and IDX. Scroll up a little bit here to widgets. Pretty easy to grab in templates. So if I want to, for example, showcase my blog posts on the home page, I can add in a widget for that links to the blog page. So directs people to that custom information a little quicker, or in just, exposes it in more places to draw more people there. Because every once in a while, people might find the home page of your website, but if they don't immediately find what it is they're looking for, they might click off the page. So always helpful to, add in, information that might draw them in right on that home page. All right. Now we've talked about increasing that SEO value, but also other ways to drive more consumers to the site. Share out listings. I know probably seems like an obvious one. If you've never taken advantage of our playbooks in kvCORE, I think a really easy way to promote listings in kvCORE, and get more people to that listing on your website is by using our promote a listing playbook. We do have a walkthrough video about it. But in this playbook, it will allow you not only to, let me go and grab a listing here. It does email and text notifications, but if we really want to drive more people to our website, pre-creates a text code for a listing. So that's really great for your print advertising, flyer, sign writers, postcards. And if someone goes to text that code, it's actually going to send them a link to that listing on your site. So another way to drive those people to your site. Also create some digital promotion pieces. So these are great for online posting, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest. And again, we'll draw those users. If they don't go to click on your link, it's going to draw them back to your website and get them to register. So all ways to drive users to the site. Additionally, something I think that, I haven't talked about in a while, and sometimes we frequently overlook, is kvCORE has an option to auto post listings to Craigslist. Now the Craigslist, auto poster is a really handy tool. If you do like posting, it actually creates that posting for you. If you want another way to, expose or get exposure, if you want to capture another audience. Now it'll do it in the promote a listing playbook. But I also like to point out that straight from your listings tab, if I had a new listing, let's go and grab a random one here. I think I tested this out a little bit earlier. Let's see. We're going to try this guy here today. For listings, when you pull them up on the right-hand side, you've got a more actions drop down. And you can post, a lot of different places online, but I always like to remind people that the Craigslist auto poster is there. Now with the Craigslist auto poster, it's a browser extension. You just download it once. It'll look like this little icon. I know it's very tiny for you guys probably to see, but it's in the upper right-hand corner. If I go click on that, I can choose, you're just choosing essentially the default area that you're posting to. Now I know this probably, oops, I was going to wait and, do a grand reveal there. So let's do this one more time. I'm just going to go ahead and click post to Craigslist. Now, granted, I mentioned I normally work in San Diego, and I know the listing I chose is not in San Diego, but just for demo purposes, we'll pretend that it is. I'm going to click one button and then my hands are going to be off the keyboard. There we go, off the keyboard. And it creates the rest of this posting for me. So again, if you want to expand your audience and expand the number of leads coming to your website, post everywhere. It really helps to kind of expand your audience. So this is a quick and easy way to create a posting for Craigslist. It pops in, creates the title for me, adds in the video, the location, adds in the description from kvCORE, and also includes a text code. The text code is going to be your name to your smart number within kvCORE. And if someone goes to text that code, again, it's going to capture their information, add it to your CRM, and they're, given some more information. They're given that link to the listing on your website so they can see details and pictures of that listing. So more ways to get exposure. And I apologize, I just missed a question in the chat. Let me double check here. The manually added sold properties, for some reason, is sitting under my contact us link. So let's double check here. Sold properties, top level navigation, somehow sitting under my contact us link. So when you say your contact us link, just double checking here. You're talking about contact information from your profile, or are you talking about something from your home page? Unfortunately, I feel like this sounds a little specific, so it's a little bit tricky to know if I'm not able to see your site. I apologize. If you can give me any other context, that might help. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Craigslist extension. Now, if you grabbed that copy of my website agenda, I have included a link to our support article on the Craigslist auto poster. So I'll go ahead and I'll pop this open just for fun. We'll pop it in the chat now, just in case you guys are interested. There we go. So yes, it will require Google Chrome. I apologize, but you'll go ahead and you'll just click the kvCORE extension and it'll allow you to add to Chrome. Pretty easy to add it in there. And again, you're just setting your URL. So you're choosing the area which you're regularly going to be posting to. Now, if you're in multiple MLSs, you can always go back to this and, change the area at which you're posting there. So you can always go and adjust what area you want to post in. So pretty easy to do there, but then it's set. And then you can just go and click the, the auto poster options within kvCORE. And then, again, you just click one button, creates that posting for you. All right, let's see with our other question in the chat here. I was directed to my sold listings manually in the navigation tab. I apologize. I'm not quite sure that I'm understanding what you're looking at there with your contact us and navigations. You're talking about in the platform itself, so not on your website. So you're talking about this navigation tab on the left-hand side. I apologize. If this continues to be an issue, I guess you could reach out to support on your website. I'm not sure what it is. You're talking about contact. Trying to see where you might be seeing that information because I don't have an example of it here. So it's a little hard for me to display. And there wasn't a resolution for that. Okay. I apologize. I don't have the answer for you today. Let me see if I can reach out internally. If you are able to pop the link to your website in the chat, we can try to take a look on that on the back end. Did tech support just not get back to you, or they just didn't have a fix for you at this time? Because typically support's usually the best way to get a resolution for that. But I'll do what I can on my end to see if we can find out more information. Okay, it says they'll get back. Yeah, support is going through kind of a, they are reaching kind of a heavy load of messages at the moment. I will mention chat is typically a bit faster of a response than sending an email, although email is another option. There isn't say a direct line for support, but I do believe they've offered options where you can call, you can schedule a call with support. So when you go to send them a message, you should be able to let them know that you want a call. And I do believe they send you a scheduling link so you can book a call. But unfortunately, right now, there's not a direct number to that. We're working on getting those numbers down. We do have a lot of our team members helping out with chat. So we should see those, time resolutions decrease or, get faster with those resolutions. But I apologize if that's been your experience so far. So something else I want to, continuing on with our conversation, of course, if you have different kvCORE related questions, of course, keep them coming. I apologize if it's not something that I can answer, but I'll do what I can to look into it. Now, besides, posting out your listings online to draw more consumers in, of course, you've got those DIY lead generation tools in kvCORE, those squeeze pages and landing pages. Now, I mentioned that promote a listing playbook, pre-creates those items for you for a specific listing, but, it doesn't have to stop there. You don't have to only share out, post out, try to generate leads to look at a specific listing. Again, you've got lots of areas on your website that could be, provide interesting information to different consumers out there. So you can create Squeeze pages are probably one of the fastest, easiest ways to, post out regularly for lead generation. So besides sharing out a single listing or multiple listings, you could create a squeeze page link that drives consumers back to, again, sign up for a home valuation on your site or sign up for a market report. I feel like it's really worthwhile to maybe make one of each of these and post that out on social media on a recurring basis to try to generate more leads in there. And again, once you've created these links once, kvCORE saves a history of them for you. So you can use them again and again. You don't have to recreate a million squeeze pages, and they really only take a few minutes to create. We have whole videos on how these are created. So again, other ways that we can drive them to our site. And then landing pages, while squeeze pages are really quick and simple to create, I'd mentioned there's just a couple of set options for them. Landing pages you could build for tons of reasons. So maybe you do decide to go the route of adding, starting a blog on your website, or maybe you decide to build a monthly newsletter in kvCORE to nurture those sphere contacts. Well, then you could also create something like a landing page that mentions your blog post or mentions your monthly newsletter and directs people to that on your site, or directs people to sign up for that monthly newsletter you've created. So more ways to drive people back. Just different ways to kind of repurpose the tools that you have for a multitude of reasons. And when you're, drawing different reasons for people to utilize your website, you're also drawing in different audiences as well. So you're expanding who is exposed to this information. Now, you could post this out. Social media is definitely one of the first places that we're going to recommend that you post this out. But even within your social media, don't just post on your individual pages. Consider, if you're posting to Facebook, consider different Facebook groups that you could be joining and sharing this information out with. So think about expanding your audiences. Oh, and I just saw your comment in the chat, Brian. Thank you so much for that information. I'm going to go ahead and copy that down. Thank you for providing that for me. And I will take a look into that and see what I can do on my end for you. So I'm just going to copy that in a note. Yeah, absolutely. At the very least, we can try to find that ticket and get more eyes on it. Find out why you haven't received a response for that just yet. All right. And then last but not least, there is always the option to purchase leads from the marketplace to get more eyes on your website. Besides the do-it-yourself lead generation options in kvCORE, Marketplace has a lot of options for generating leads. Just go click on the Get More Leads item. You're going to see a lot of options there for you. Now, if you really want to deep dive into Marketplace, I always like to refer people back to our experts of the Marketplace. In the live training calendar that I pointed out at the beginning of today's presentation, if you weren't aware, on Wednesdays, we actually have a Marketplace overview webinar. So in that 45-minute session, they talk about a lot of the different options that you have access to if you're purchasing leads through Marketplace. So if you want suggestions as to what type of lead purchase option is most appropriate for you and your business needs, that's a great one to jump in, ask those questions. So Marketplace overviews are held every single Wednesday if you want to deep dive into those. All right. Do we have any other questions about kvCORE, about what we've talked about thus far, or something else related to your platform? Any of the tools, even if it wasn't something that we talked about here today, I'm happy to try to help out in the chat or the Q&A with the time that we have remaining. I always want to make sure that, while we always try to provide, a topic to discuss on every given session, also try to make sure that there's dedicated time if you just have questions here. All right, I'm just going to scan back, just double check that we haven't missed anything in the chats. All right, while I'm waiting for that, just want to give a little context to these extra articles and videos. I always, just about every single one of these, like to share out the kvCORE dictionary. It has a lot of the terminology we talk about at kvCORE. But some other things I wanted to mention here as well, besides the fact that you can also, we talked about at the beginning, ways that you can also put your contacts on search alerts. You don't just have to direct them to the search alert. I know not everybody, you could send leads that link to your website all day long, but that doesn't necessarily, require them to create it. And a lot of times, if you really want to give them, the ultimate service, sometimes it's helpful just to put them on the search alert for them. But a lot of people don't also realize that you can actually save listings on behalf of your client as well. On the website, we talked about from the search tab how your consumers on the website can obviously go save a listing. And next time they log into your kvCORE platform, they can go back to where they've logged in and they can see all those listings they've saved and any notes. But of course, within kvCORE in your listings tab, you can save that listing for them. So it's just already added to their list of listings. Additionally, I've included links on ways to drive leads and build your sphere of influence. If you want more examples of ways that you can build up your database, that article is chock full of suggestions there. And, if you like the idea of, posting out a link to your website online on your social media, but you need more ideas. I hear that all the time. It's, I want to do this, but I have no idea what to post about. Similar concept with, what stops a lot of people from, say creating a blog post. Well, I don't have anything to talk about. I don't have anything to share, or I don't have any ideas for this. Got another support article I've linked here for property search of the day ideas. So if you want a topic to post about regularly to drive more consumers to your site, this has lots of great options for you. We've got support articles as well on landing page ideas if that's the route you want to take. And, another way to, draw people to the website, maybe someone asks for a link to your social media page, or you want roundabout ways to, add social media information to your website as well. Always helpful to add that feed to your website. We've got a video from a past success meetup linked here as well. And of course, there's links to the YouTube channel and Facebook group as well. All right, folks, I'm not seeing any other questions in the Q&A or chat here. So I think we might be wrapping this up a little early unless anyone has any additional questions. All right. Well, what I'm going to do before we wrap it up here, if you did jump in a little late and you missed the agenda, I'm going to share that out in the chat one more time. Again, this is the information that I'm covering right here. Oh, and I think there was a new post there, so let's double check. All right, just a thank you. Well, you guys are very welcome. Thank you guys so much for attending, and I hope to see you all back on next week's session. Thanks for joining. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care, everyone.